Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Dennis, for the invitation back. I'm really honored to be alongside this wonderful panel and hearing all that you have to present. I am the founder of Star One Professional Services. It is a global coaching and consulting firm where we help business owners close the gap between goal setting and goal achievement. We really primarily look at working with visionary business leaders who will take an approach, as Karen mentioned, the key word in terms of prioritization and turning into habits. My passion has been doing that for the last 6 years, working with leaders. And prior to that, in corporate America, I was also working with leaders across the US in terms of making sure that we are able to meet and exceed goals. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation today. We too have a 5-point approach at our firm, and we look at businesses who need to shore up their structure, their strategy, their process and procedures. We want to make sure that teams are being recognized. It's all about people, no matter how much we invest in technology and talk about the future of technology and robotics. It's always going to be about the human being and the human relationship. So we look at assessments as well to see which ways we're communicating with one another, making sure that we are on the same page, that we recognize and honor our destined or our desired approach for communication. We look at our 12-point approach in terms of our motivators. We also look at acumen, and we love to also understand EQ and knowing that emotional intelligence is something that we can continue to improve. When we have that unique ability to connect with our teams, we then have an outstanding opportunity to then have outside customer loyalty. So internal customer loyalty for outside customer loyalty. So Star One Professional Services, a global business coaching and consulting firm. And if I can add also my second hat for the last few months, since July of last year, I'm the president of the New Jersey Association of Women Business Owners. I love working primarily with women business owners who are looking at opportunities that are ahead of them through certifications. So I help business owners in that way here in our organization. And we believe that every woman business owner should be a member. But even if you're not a member, we're here to support all women business owners in the state of New Jersey. So once again, I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
Excellent. And then we're going to come right back to you, Bertha. And ironically, it was a conversation that we had about women business in October that you mentioned goal setting. And I don't remember exactly how you described it, but I remembered it was very unique. So can you get in and describe a little bit about your approach to goals?
Sure, absolutely. So as I mentioned in my intro, I always talk about closing the gap between goal setting and goal achievement. And a little bit of our behind the scenes chatter, we were talking about, making sure that those habits stick, because we all want to do things, but do we actually do the work? So part of my process with clients and friends is making sure that we follow a goal planning sheet. And it's really part of the process. Everyone's familiar with SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistically high, and time bound. What I add to that criteria is why, W-H-Y. Making sure that our goals are written is critical. We can't just say that they're in our head, right? It have to be something that we write. Having that connection between our brain to paper is really critical and important in the process of attainment and achievement. The second thing is that they are in alignment, or that they're harmonious. That's what the H represents. They have to be in alignment with the other things that are in our life, whether it be our personal and our business. We're holistic beings. So we can't say, these are my goals in business, and that they're contradictory to what we want to accomplish in our personal life. They have to be in alignment. They have to be harmonious. And the third one, the letter Y, represents yours. They have to be your goals. You have to be passionate about it. They have to have some type of story that's going to pull you and push you to attaining it. The actual process of achievement in the goal planning process is that you identify that one goal. And the goal has to be structured properly. So the criterion is to help you make sure that it is a goal. The first step is a brain dump. Write down everything that you want to accomplish, your dreams, your ideas, and then you structure it with the Y SMART criterion. Once you have that, you take that one goal and you give it, of course, the time-bound piece, right? You have to make sure that you have a deadline. An affirmation for it. Your affirmation should be written in first person. They should be positive, and it's something that's going to fuel you, whether it's daily, depending on when your goal is due, whether it's every time you're about to achieve it, maybe you're going to work on it. You're going to look at that, that affirmation to fuel you. The other piece of it is looking at the rewards and consequences. What are the rewards for attaining this goal? If I achieve losing these 10 pounds in X time frame, what does that give me? Am I going to feel better? Am I going to be able to, have more energy to play with my children? Am I going to be able to, maybe it's fitting in those clothes that you've been wanting to fit in? Whatever the goal is for you, what is the reward that's gonna fuel you? And then the other side is the consequences. Unfortunately, most people are actually fueled more by avoiding the consequence as opposed to achieving the reward. So what are the consequences of not reaching the goal? So you write out your goal, you have the time date, the timestamp when you want to achieve it by, you have your reward, your consequence, and then you want to write out what are your obstacles to achieving the goal. And we talked about it briefly in the intro. Sometimes it's, losing that fuel. I think it was you who mentioned it, Danelle. Did I say your name right, Danelle? Is it that we lose that impetus, that fuel, the want to do it? I'm getting up on January 1st. Everyone has the resolution. But then a week later, and sometimes even sooner, we lose the fuel, the energy, to make it happen. So you want to write out all your obstacles and then write out the solution to the obstacle. Because when the obstacle presents itself, you will already have your plan B. And then in that line item for your obstacle and its solution, then you also want to see, is there someone that I need to delegate to? Do I need some help in making this step happen? Do I need to learn something? Is there something that I'm missing so that you can have a really strong plan B for when that obstacle presents itself? And then following through. That's why making sure in the why criterion that it's your goal, that it's harmonious, that it has a story behind it, and then you'll fuel you to make it happen. You got to be consistent, looking at it, writing it down, and you'll be able to achieve your goals.
So Bertha, we'll come back to you as far as a follow-up to, either things that you had mentioned earlier or what others had said here today.
Sure. Again, this has been so great. I am taking notes. Like you just said, Danelle, this is something for all of us. We are on this journey. And one thing that's really big when we're thinking about goal settings, or if someone's looking at New Year's resolutions, I tend to shy away from resolutions. I like intentions. This is the intention that I've set, and it's not necessarily based on a time frame similar to what Chris said. They prepare for the new year the year before. Well, I look at my years in terms of 12 weeks. So whatever works for you, make it manageable. I love what Karen said, celebrating those little wins, because you're getting closer, so take it into those smaller bites, as she mentioned, make your goals manageable. That's part of that criterion, the why SMART, making sure it's, manageable, making sure it's something that you can achieve. Sometimes I get asked, how many goals is too many? How many goals is too few? I want to say, for me personally, 3, depending on how big the goals are, right? Because your goals also they're intangible, and then they're tangible goals as well. So, and they're time bound. So you can have short-term goals, long-range goals. Karen talked about her process with her clients is weekly. So they're looking at those 3 goals over a time frame of a week. You may be looking at the first quarter, the first year, and 5 years. So it depends on you, but I like to look at 3 big goals. And then making sure that those goals have action steps, things that I'm doing every day that completely relate to my goals. My goals are also connected to my aspirational vision. So those 3 goals are linked to where I see myself in 5 and 10 years. And the activity that I'm doing every day, and when I'm actually planning in my calendar, when I have my time blocks, so I have those strategic blocks, they're directly linked to getting me, their activity that's going to get me to those goals. So whether it's making sure that I'm refilling my cup with water, right? Or if I'm going out to take a walk, or making sure that I'm checking to see, like Chris mentioned in terms of my networking, have I hit my target? So you got to have some type of tracker where you're holding yourself accountable at the end of the day, checking to see, this is what I said I would do and I did it. Yay, success. I didn't. I got to add it to somewhere so that I can make it happen. And that's part of the heavy lifting, in making sure that we're doing the work that's going to get us to our goals. And you've got to have some type of tracker, some type of activity where you're checking and making sure that, let me go back and see my week. And how did I do this week with the things that I said I was going to do? So having an accountability partner or a circle or a group is great, but making sure that you realize that the power is really within your hands, and you and I hold ourselves accountable. And if you're really committed to it, it's something that you love and you want to do, and you envision yourself. Danelle mentioned visioning. That's really powerful too. Have affirmations that help you. You're going to make it happen. We all can. So just make it something that you love, write it down, have some activity behind it, and maybe a partner that can help you go along on the trip, on the journey with you. Okay. Well, I echo everyone else. It's been a lot of fun. It's been confirmation, and I've learned some new things. So I want to thank you all. I would say if there was one last takeaway, I would share that start with dreaming big, right? Dream big. What's going to fuel you? What is it that you want to do? We tend to grow up, and I think someone said this earlier, you tend to grow up and forget about being the child inside. And what was it that you wanted to do when you wanted to grow up? And if there are certain things that you want to do and you feel that you have an obstacle and you can't achieve it, or you can't get there, there is no such thing as can't. You can, we can. And back to Karen's point earlier about community and connection, we can do this collaboratively. So look for someone, back to Chris's point, who can help you, someone who's been there, who's done that, who can shape the path and can help you. Write down all your dreams. I call it a brain dump. Write it all down, and then give those dreams some structure to them with that criterion, whether it's the why smart criterion or the smart criterion. Just make sure that it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistically high, where it challenges you and it has some type of time bound. Because if it doesn't have a deadline, it's going to stay there and you're never going to get there. You want something that's going to pull you and push you to get there. And then once you have that goal, make it manageable. Take those small bites, like Karen said, make sure that when you do achieve those little ones that lead you to the longer term goals or the mid-size range goals, that you then have those wins and those celebrations. Take the time to celebrate that you've achieved that. And then the more you have those wins and celebrations, the more then you can convert this goal achievement process into a habit. And you'll be achieving more and more. And then it'll be a part of who you are, and you'll be able to share it with others and bring others along the path to their success. So it's not about you just achieving in your business separately from achieving in your home and your personal life. It's holistic. What is it that you'd like to do? What is it how you'd like to serve? Who you'd like to give to, and what it is that you'd like to do? Look at it in terms of your goals. Take the dreams, give them shape, and then make their goals a reality. You can achieve them. Absolutely. Others have, and you can too. And I look forward to, hearing from others' success. I love hearing that. Like Karen, you said, when I have a client that achieves a goal and has success, it's happiness for me. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to connecting with all of you.